Minecraft Survival Island Challenge. It's never been done before, except for like 100,000 other YouTubers. But for as long as I've been playing Minecraft, it's kind of sad that I never tried this out for myself. I've seen many other people play it, add their own twist to it, but today I want to try the classical challenge. Just me on an island, a few trees, and my fat brain. Let's see if I can survive and make a nice oasis for myself. Let's begin. I started off by getting to know my surroundings, looking at the small island I'm working with, before swiftly breaking my feet and chopping down my first log. Next, it was time to get myself some tools. Firstly by crafting a wooden pickaxe, mining a few cobblestone, so that I can get rid of this wooden pickaxe as quickly as possible. I swear a wooden pickaxe never lasts more than 3 cobblestone in any playthrough.
Get your ass on!
Getting rid of that pick gave me a nice view of the island. Having this view made me get some good ideas for a build I want to make. So to get started, I needed to chop down a ton of trees. Let's go! Seeds. As you can tell, bro is one very special individual. He got excited over seeds. Seeds, my friends. As soon as the farm was up and working, I grabbed some logs that I had chopped earlier, threw them in the furnace, and smelted them down to make some coal, which I used to make torches to light up my small island. Luckily, I finished up before nightfall. I didn't have a bed yet since it was my first day, and no sheep of course, so I was just praying and hoping that I placed the torches in the right spots. After that, I put a little guide down for my build, these steps, and went on a quick little mining trip. Thankfully, I was able to find some iron, which is very useful, and by the time I came up, it was finally day 2. And it's daytime. Oh, cow and sheep. I'm gonna be so for real. I do not know how they got here, but that was their mistake. That's good. Oh, we got back. Nice. Damn. Do wandering villagers spawn carrots? Do they give out carrots? I need that. Let's continue with our build. He's right. Let's continue. The first step was finishing up the stairs that I originally started, giving them a nice cobblestone outline, and the base of it being birch. Me personally, I love that color palette. Cobble, birch, cobble, oak. It always works, no matter what. The next step was clearing out some dirt to make a nice flat wall. This would set me up to make an entrance frame, which I made using oak logs, stripped oak logs, cobblestone slabs, and cobblestone steps, and oak stairs. And I was pretty happy with it. Not too bad. Once the sheep had grown its wool back, I sheared it again, and I was able to get 3 wool total. Which means now I can finally get myself a bed. No more dark nights. For the final moments of daylight on day 2, I decided to clear out the wall section, making it a bit more flatter, chopping a few logs, and finally putting my bed to use. On day 3, I took a good look at the entrance wall I was making for my little base, and I really did not like it. I did not like the wall that I chose, so I decided to make it a lot better. By using cobblestone, I was able to smelt it into smooth stone, and then transform that smooth stone into stone bricks. And in the end, this is what it turned out to look like. On it, yo, I ain't mad about that. I am not mad about that. Get some more birch down. Hopefully my wheat starts growing faster too, because this John is taking too long, my boy. I was running low on food since I don't really have a food source, and I'm not trying to kill any of the cows or sheep that I have. So this was the next big thing I can do. Primal fishing or something. How my granddaddy taught me. Check this out. Oh. Ow. There you go. That's how it's done. Make me grandpappy proud. My inventory was getting pretty full at this point, so to make things a bit easier, I made myself a chest. At this point, I was ready to start working on my dock, so I put my boat in the water and laid down a foundation of birch. I was running low on wood, so to restock, I spent the rest of the day just chopping wood. On the early morning of day 4, I ate the catch from yesterday. First fish. Apples were getting pretty boring, so this was a nice change of pace. To finish up this little base, I needed to clear out the interior and make it look somewhat decent. And as I was halfway through, some headass started giving me a call and distracting me. Oh my, who the heck is giving me a call? It was the homie. I love him, so I just kicked his ass and went back to playing. After that short distraction, I chopped some more wood and finished up the interior. For day 5, I worked on my gardening skills quickly by replanting trees, and then went down on a quick mining expedition. I lucked out, and on one of my very first trips down, within the first 3 minutes, I was able to find diamonds. However, My reaction was not there. First diamonds. Now compare that to the very first time I found diamonds. Minecraft is just not the same. I spent the rest of day 5 down there, and as I finished, day 6 was swiftly approaching. For day 6, I start off by improving the roof and the floor of my base. Dirt doesn't really look nice, so I changed it to birch. On day 6, I finished the very bottom platform of my house. This was the layer between the basement and the place I would actually live. Placing the final blocks, I was able to check on my wheat farm, which at this point was able to produce a few grains. And lighting up the platform, I called it a day. Day 7 is when I finally was able to start working on my actual house, the place where I was going to be staying at. And since this is a 100-day challenge, I was trying to make it worth my while by putting all my effort into it.
I don't think you have any idea how fast I really am.
After chopping down a crap ton of logs, I waited to go to bed to get ready for day 8. I started the day off like usual, getting more wood. I'm basically a lumberjack at this point, but for the build I have in mind, I really need everything I can get. This house will be a little bit of a 2-story one, so I added some steps to make it easier to get up to the top. As soon as the height was at a good place, I started adding another platform. And to spice things up, so I didn't just use 2 colors or 3 like I usually do, I threw in some of that dark cobblestone. So now it's 4 colors. For all of day 9, I spent it mining. I was able to find a bit of iron, a bit of diamond, and gathered a lot of cobblestone in the meantime. At the end of this session, I had 9 diamonds, 32 lapis, and a stack of redstone. By the time I came to the surface, it was already day 10.
2 sheep. Come here. Bam. Bam.
I promise you they were not forced into this relationship.
I need food, I'm sorry.
As I said, from that mining trip, I had a lot of cobblestone, so I was able to put it to good use on my house. That is one of the most garbage things I've ever seen in my entire life. But we live and we learn. We're changing this. Whoever placed these blocks has gotta retire, man. For day 11, I start off by controlling the population of my sheep on the island. Gotta keep the census low for now. I then went on to remove all the dark cobble from my house. This definitely took a minute. It takes a lot longer to mine dark cobblestone versus regular cobblestone, which is pretty annoying. As I was demolishing my home, I realized I had a bunch of iron, and so I thought it was a good idea to craft myself some armor. With that, I continued chopping more logs. I don't think I've ever chopped this many logs in a Minecraft session, but it's weirdly relaxing, and the frustration of using the wrong cobble sort of went away after that. On day 12, I took a quick bath. While I was at it, I gathered up some sand, that way I can make some windows for my house. The house was coming together pretty well, and to make things even better, I used my shears to gather oak leaves and decorate the base of the house. I spiced things up, making it go from basil to a little bit more peppercini. The floor of my basement looked pretty bland, so I put stone bricks to make it more presentable. With that, I was back to chopping a lot more wood for my base. I swear I was like 3 blocks from going insane. However, I stopped and decided to craft a bunch of cobblestone stairs for my roof. You see, that's dedication right there. Even in the rain, we're working on the house. I was able to finish up 4 walls, place windows, and then put glass panes into the window openings. From then on, the only thing left was the roof. I don't know about you guys, but the height of this house feels pretty nice. Just look at that view. It's bueno. Mucho bueno. By the time I got to the roof, there wasn't much daytime left. So with the fleeting time I had left, I just made an outline of the roof frame. On the early morning of day 14, I started to fill in the roof itself. For that, I decided to use the dark cobble. In my opinion, it makes the house really pop. The contrast with the birch, the oak, and then the gradient from the regular cobble to the dark cobble is pretty nice. But you let me know in the comments right now, what do you think? You're never supposed to do this in real life, but I started off by finishing the top of my house before I did the bottom. So obviously the next step was actually finishing the center of my house. For that, I used a bunch of birch to actually make the walls themselves, and then went to the bottom of the seafloor to gather more sand to make more windows. As I slowly buoyed up to the surface, I got to see my house from the bottom view, which I was happy with, but there was still stuff I really wanted to add. The main thing, of course, being windows, but also a little bit of decoration, such as shutters for the windows, maybe a little more greenery, stuff like that. That's essentially everything I did for all of day 15 pretty much. I put in the window panes, made sure to replant some trees, chop some trees down. It seemed like I had a lot of wood, but I don't know why, I always found myself not having enough. Which when you're doing 100-day challenges, not really good. Time is scarce, and so are the resources. I noticed on my house that the bottom was very green but the top pretty monotone, so I decided to destroy the railings that I placed and replace them with oak leaves. Every time I changed something on the house, I would take a step back, look at the house, change something else, and this pretty much went on for all of day 15. Once the main house was pretty much built, like 90% done, I decided to work on the dock a bit more. I can't even call it a dock right now because it's not it. I needed to extend it, make it look a bit nicer, and of course put a boat there. For now it's going to be a nice and simple dock. I added some stairs that went down to the actual water level, surrounded it a bit more with oak logs, added more birch fence, and then added an outline of upside down cobblestone stairs. Final step was of course placing my boat in the water. No point of dock if you don't have a boat. As my boy Magellan once said, "The drippier the boat, the drippier the hoe." Rest in peace, man. Fly high. Anyway, I haven't checked up on my wheat farm in a minute, so I decided to do that. And then I went on a quick swim to gather some clay. I want to use that clay to make some pots so that I can put some plants in my house. Then when I got back, I chopped down a few more trees, but by that time it was already dark, so I went to bed. On day 17, I finally put some chests in my basement. This way I can keep my inventory organized. I then used that clay that I found to make pots and started working on the interior of my house. For this, I used diorite. Surprisingly, I absolutely despise diorite, andesite, any of those. But for this, I thought it might work, so I used it. Now, I know the interior is pretty small, but with what I had to work with, I don't think it's too bad. It looks kind of homey in my opinion. After that, I decided to work on my farming skills by replanting a bunch of saplings. And from then on, I wanted to work on the upstairs area. At first, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. I started off by making it seem like it was a lookout area by putting some benches in there, sort of like an outpost or something. But I quickly scrapped that idea because it's really dumb. If I'm going to build an outpost, it should be a lighthouse or something like a typical island base. So I just decided to make this my room. I placed my bed up there, built a frame for my bed, built whatever the hell this thing is right here. You see, sometimes when you're building, you just have to freestyle. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But you live and you learn, that's what I'm saying. Don't make me pull out another Magellan quote right now. Whew. Just listen, learn, and listen. However, if you're going to take one thing away from this video, if you're trying to learn how to build or something, one of the biggest tips I would say, use green. And by that I mean plants, oak leaves. Just look how nice everything looks with it. I also replaced the birch fence I had on the sides and put a cobble fence down instead, birch in the middle, and then a birch slab on top. Still have no idea what I built, but it works. And if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. Day 19 is when I finally started working on a mining entrance. It was pretty simple. Firstly, I flattened out the area and dug a giant hole that would lead to the mining entrance. I also started to craft a bunch of slabs to place around the hole. That way I wouldn't have to jump up on each block, I could just run up if I wanted to. Same idea here as my build. I didn't just use cobblestone, but I essentially used 3 different types, both slabs and stairs. For the mine shaft building itself, I went pretty simple. Just a cobblestone fence, a bit of oak logs. I didn't want to go too overboard, which now that I look back at it, I probably should have put more effort into it. But look at that. Oak leaves coming in clutch again. As the sun was setting, I made a little path from my house to the mining entrance. It's a nice little touch. On the start of day 21, I wanted to expand my storage system, so I threw in a few more chests so I can get the space filled out. I then moved on straight to the dock. Since I don't have much space on the top of the island, I decided to build my cow and sheep farm below the island. For that, I would extend my dock and excavate a hole in the wall for my new farm. It was during this that I realized I don't really have a source of navigation. If I ever leave the island, I just kind of predict where my house is and head in a direction I think is right, but it's also very hard to keep track of time. And since I am counting days on this challenge, I thought I'd craft myself a compass and a clock. Before day 21 ended, I started on a frame similar to my storage area one and placed a few stairs. And the entirety of day 22 was just spent digging out a giant hole. Pause. Walking around the island, you start to notice things that are a bit off. An example being these stairs right here. Quickly fix those and finish the cave. And almost as if right on cue, I already had an employee begging for an interview. He got lucky because McDonald's was just around the corner. And once again, you'll never guess what I did. That's right, I chopped more logs. That joke never gets old. But in all seriousness, there's not much for me to do other than that for now. Which is why I started off day 24 by chopping more logs. From then, however, I built a little simple fence, or a cow pen you can call it, and got really lucky somehow. The timing couldn't be any more perfect. Why, you might ask? Well, once I finished building the pen, I decided to look on top of the island.
Let's go. Wait.
The luck was extraordinary. I mean, I've been on the island for already 24 days, and I only had one cow that I saw. And now just another one appears right as I'm done? I don't know. I'm not complaining though. And also sheep appeared. I swear I'm not cheating. I don't know why this is happening, but let's not ruin the moment. It's a good thing. On the next day, I decided to put on my farmer's hat because I haven't worked on my wheat farm for a minute. And now that I actually have cows and sheep to feed, it would be a good idea to expand that. I started off by digging a few holes for the water and then expanding the actual farming area. This way, I would go from producing only a few grains of wheat to above like 25 or 50. That doesn't sound like a lot when you hear it, but when you're on a small island, that's a pretty decent amount, especially because I'm just starting off. I had gotten to the point where a lot of things were already set into place. My house was built, farm was good. It was now time for me to start thinking about the Nether, looking towards the end game. For that, I need a diamond pick and go mining for some obsidian. I stayed down there mining for a few minutes so that I can find some iron, but then quickly went back up. I figured that my animals were pretty hungry, so I fed them some wheat, told them all that it's going to be a-okay. It may seem bleak down in this basement, but they'll get used to it. Not as bad as my chicken farm though, I'll tell you that. Anyway, after feeding them some hay, I ran back upstairs and hit my hay. In the morning I worked on the crops, even though I just planted them so there weren't that many. However, after that I went on a little expedition, starting off with a little ruin underwater. I went down for the chest in search of a treasure map for the future. No luck, unfortunately. Since I am on an island, I'm obviously surrounded by water, and what I really want to find is the heart of the sea. Using that, in the future, I'll be able to build a conduit which will help me breathe underwater. For now though, I was just surveying the nearby islands, finding some sugarcane, and some dark oak. This will really come in handy for some variation in my builds. So I spent a little time to chop this sucker down, and took a moment there to collect all the saplings that I dropped. I don't want to just keep coming back here to collect wood, so I'd rather get the saplings and plant them on my base. With the freshly acquired sugarcane, I wasted no time in planting it right away. Reason being that I want to make an enchantment table, and if I wanted to have any juice, I need sugarcane to make some books, and all that good stuff. No. Oh my gosh. Holy guacamole, brother. I just nearly freaking sold my pajama. Oh my heart is racing. Holy crap. Let's freaking go. Dude, I was so scared. Oh my. I need armor. Bad. Oh, and that reminds me. Good question. Now, if you pay attention to my hotbar, you'll notice that I don't have any armor for some odd reason. What I'm pretty sure happened is that I changed to a different version of Minecraft to use a shader pack, and I think in doing so, it took away all my armor, so I had to go mining to replenish all of that. Kinda stupid. I still didn't have that much iron. I was only able to craft a chest and some pants, so I went back down. Let's go. That's what I needed. And what you're about to see next is very stupid, but I'm pretty sure it happened to all of us. Look carefully at what I craft.
No. Oh my. It was a misinput.
It was a misinput. Input. Calm down. You calm.
Yes, I crafted by accident a stack and a half of cobblestone slabs. I mean, at this point, I want to challenge someone. That's probably the only thing I'll be good at, challenging someone who is dumber when it comes to the most idiotic moves in Minecraft. I swear I'm the champ. There's... Sorry about that. Let's lock in. I spent about a day and a half in the mine, so at that point, I gathered enough iron to craft whatever I wanted. Coming up to the surface, it was now time for me to start planning a new build. For that, I wanted to do something underwater.
Wait, did they patch this? But see some veteran gameplay. If this works. It does work.
You see that move right there is called the door in the water. It's not known to many, but essentially, placing a door in the water, you have a pocket of air, infinite air, that you can exploit and do stuff underwater. Pretty good to know. You'll see me using this a lot. The idea I had for the build was having a set of stairs lead into the water to a base where I would have my enchantment table. This way I feel like I would have a pretty cool view of the surrounding water above me and just have a cool glass dome. Doors underwater are cool, but it's a very limited amount of space I can actually work with. If I'm able to find myself a conduit, I can stay underwater pretty much indefinitely and make the building process much smoother. So for that, I went in search of a treasure map. I thought that I could find it in this ruin, but it was pretty heavily guarded. Every time I killed a drowned, it would seem like 2 more would appear, so I thought I'd try my luck somewhere else. Using the old look under the bow method, I was quickly able to find a sunken ship. And thankfully, this chest actually had some pretty good loot. The main thing being the treasure map, which is what I really came here for.
I'm gonna try to take down the sea thing tomorrow.
When I say sea thing, I don't mean Aquaman's sea pickle. I mean the ocean monument.
Taking down an ocean monument. Hopefully I don't die. This will be bad. Okay, I have that. I have milk. I have a door. Should be all I need.
See that? Remember, if you're gonna raid an ocean monument, all you need is a door and some milk. Now, when I made my way down to the ocean monument, things went wrong pretty fast.
Oh no. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. Dip, 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 dip. Damn. Okay, I'm not ready at all. I need way more doors.
We're not even going to talk about how pathetic that attempt was. I barely dipped my toe in the water and ran for my life. Now, I don't know how much a door can save you. Like, what are you going to just lock the door for the fish? But
Let's try again.
we're going to do it. We're doing it with doors. Because just as my granddaddy taught me to fish with an axe, he said, son, if you're going to take down an ocean monument, do it with the door. Or don't do it at all. And I ain't no wuss. So we're doing it right.
Okay, we're in. No. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back. There's no way.
Hey, yo, who gave him controller? This dude's a wuss. I think I should have crafted one more door. That's the issue here. No, but in all seriousness, I need to come back with a game plan. I can't just rush in guns blazing not knowing what I'm doing.
Okay, by now we kind of know the layout, which is good.
After one of the most pathetic attempts to take down an ocean monument, I decided to go home to get a good night's rest, because for the following morning, I spent it all at home, chopping trees, working on my farm, building up the base, just the typical farming simulator type stuff. As I continued my work on the underwater base, I started to realize how much I really needed that conduit. If I wanted things to go smoothly on this build, I would definitely need some help. Going back up to the surface after placing each block is kind of useless. I didn't have much sugar cane, so I decided to expand the farm. For that, I went for some weird pattern and made sort of like a checkerboard. In the end, it was pretty useless. It only made it more difficult to collect, so it's probably a good idea to not do it like this. I also took a look at my wheat farm, which I was pleasantly surprised to see that it was fully grown. I really didn't think that I was gone for that long, but a win is a win, and we take those all day. This greedy little chicken's trying to steal the seeds too, insane. My cow farm was also growing quite steadily, which is nice. This means that I can soon make an enchantment table. I would love to be fully equipped when I go for larger raids, and having a set of enchanted armor doesn't hurt, so that's our next move. The last 2 days I spent on the island, I was just cleaning up the base, gathering a lot of materials, basically making sure I was ready. I was also hoping that a wandering trader would spawn, because they have shells that I need for the conduit. And finally, after days of waiting, I saw the wandering villager. I've been looking for this dude for days. Unfortunately for him though, he didn't have what I needed.
Stop screaming! Stop!
I crafted a diamond sword and it was time to take down a monument.
Let's go. 19 more seconds. Let's go. It's 3:22 a.m. That's why I'm whispering. The rest should be simple. There she is. What I really need is sponges. That's what I came here for. I found it. Let's go. Let's freaking go, brother.
I can't say taking down the monument was easy. After all, it took me 3 tries. However, we did come away with a W. Not only did I get a decent amount of gold, but I got what I really came for. Sponges. If I build an underwater base, I don't want water getting in my way, and these sponges are perfect to get rid of that issue. I came back home just in time for the sun to set, and as I woke up on the very next morning, I grabbed the treasure map that I found earlier and set out to find the heart of the sea. I placed myself right on the X on the map and dug straight down. And there the chest was, and inside of it, exactly what I needed. Fish! I took the heart of the sea and made my way home. The next step for me was of course the Nether. I set aside a small section of the island for the Nether portal. However, I didn't want it to be just out in the open, so I built a small little shack for it. For this particular shack, instead of using oak or birch like I usually do, I decided to use some of the dark oak, which with the tone of the Nether, it being a dark place, I thought would complement it well. The base was made out of stone bricks, then a layer of dark oak, and then I mixed in some birch, and finished the roof off with the same style I used on my own house. And with all of that being said and done, I made sure I was prepared, and it was time to go into the Nether.
That's what I thought. You've got to be kidding me, bro.
Yep, just like that, it is all over. That really pissed me off. After all the hard work, I die to a freaking slime. If you want to see me give this challenge another try, please like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.